We still going. We didn't even do the intro. It's your boy Denz. I'm gonna say everybody. It's your boy Denz. It's Lex. Look at Lex, man. Look at her Zara slips. You go, girl.
They're not from Zara, but yeah.
We're here with P.
They're not from Zara.
We're here with P and Andu live in the cut. Nigga
know the
got on
vibe.
Jay's eyes. Crazy.
You ain't got these ones. I'm gonna
ain't
tell you
got-
for free. You ain't got
You got
these
these
ones.
He's looking all
Damn,
moisturized.
man.
He got his legs out, and that's
Crazy,
summer,
bro.
summer.
It's crazy.
Listen.
Cool.
Also, do you know that the way we didn't do that intro is really giving me 90s baby vibes?
Yeah, fam. It's been having too much
Come on,
fun.
get to 1 hour 30.
Fam.
Dead ass. Love that.
We were having a blast, you know. We were having a great time today, man. It's
Because we had a blast.
the vibration. Yeah. I was
Only
listening to
real
that
music's
today,
gonna
you know.
last. All that other bullshit was here today and gone tomorrow.
Fam. We having a blast, man. But yeah, speaking of things post lockdown, thing. Blues therapy. Have you been watching it?
I haven't actually.
I haven't watched any of it.
Like, not a single one.
So
Yeah.
you've just been seeing the clips on YouTube, on the internet of like Paul doing. Do you think that's necessary?
Yeah, like,
And you haven't had a clue what's going
Do you think that's
on.
What did
necessary?
he say about he said
You
something like,
bad.
yeah,
You
yeah.
what?
Nah.
Said, it's when he went, "Ay." I said, that's the most Ghanaian
Nah,
sound
fam.
that's ever left
Yeah, no,
anybody's
From
I'm
now
mouth.
on,
completely out of the loop. Like,
Anytime I see a babe, I have to ask her, "Are you familiar with palm oil?" Are you
Is that what you
familiar?
said?
Listen,
Bro,
so we're coming to
that's
tell
what
you
he
the
said,
tea.
fam. Basically,
So-
go on.
I'll start because I've been watching it recently. I didn't start watching it straight away because I watch a lot of YouTube and I was just like, I don't know if I want to watch this yet.
Mhm.
Anyway, couple of characters you've got on there. Two couples, Paul and Choma.
Mhm.
Choma and Paul. And Deborah and Jamel.
Chioma.
Chioma. Do you know sometimes she'll be talking and I remember that the guy who did the back chat video and he's like, "Oh, Chioma, oh, so why are you talking to her like that, Chioma, baby? I'm
yeah,
sorry."
Yeah.
And he's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
DJ Fulana.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he is. Oh my god.
Every time, sometimes she'll be talking and I just think, "Oh,
no
Chioma."
way. That guy's a throwback.
Do you know how funny
Where is
the
he?
internet?
I don't
Where
know.
did
Where
he
is
go?
he? And somebody needs to find him.
Somebody,
fam.
if
Because
you
that was
recall
so
this
funny.
guy
That
and you know where he is, please.
DJ
If it DJ Fulana,
that humor on TikTok would be amazing.
Yeah, that's what I
Did
thought.
that, he could blow up.
Because them reaction videos to stuff, yeah.
Too
I'm sure you've been
good.
seeing on Instagram stuff like that guy that did the Usher music video like commentary and the
So
Omah one
funny.
as well.
On TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fam.
There's bare of them though. With
Bro.
the Omari one specifically, there's bare of the Omari one and Excuse Me Miss.
But why
Like,
was
I've seen
Omarion wearing Tim's though?
in the
dancing
street.
in the street.
Man.
He
What
said,
song was it though? But
It was.
That's what that was.
Yeah, the one
He's
with
like,
the
wait. I love when he do this bit. I love when he do this bit. Watch it.
he
And
was
there's
popping
one
and
guy who
locking.
does it to he does it to an MJ song. It might have been. Is he Rock My World?
I think it is when he's
He's
doing
like doing
the,
this. He's like, do this. Watch this move. Watch this move. Yeah, no, I've seen it. I've
haven't
seen
seen
it.
it.
Hey, nah, I love them
There's a-
videos, but
there's a
that
space for
brother
it.
now would be hilarious.
He'd be blowing up.
But sorry, continue.
Oh, the second couple are Deborah and Jamel. So essentially,
What a
they rockstar. They go to couples therapy, and in their therapy sessions, they're obviously like unpacking and unlocking a few areas of their relationship that they feel
Are they both?
need
Are both couples actually in a relationship? Or supposed to be in a relationship
with
on
one
thing,
another.
or are they broken up?
No,
and-
they're supposed to be in a relationship with one
Okay.
another in
At
the
the time.
first
Yeah.
4 or 5 episodes.
If you haven't watched it by now, because this is even gonna come out in like a week or something. So
Yeah, if you haven't watched it,
by
sorry.
now, it's already out. But I think Paul
Your
and
business.
That's your business.
I think Paul and Shoma aren't together anymore.
Allegedly.
Is it not fake?
Allegedly, they were together in the first place. but now
They
they're
actually
not.
were together in real life.
I think it's
Oh, I don't know.
acting, personally.
I don't know.
However, it's not for us to
Regardless-
speculate. It's top class entertainment.
Yeah,
regardless.
That's what I say. Regardless if they're together or not, like the way that they managed to
Oh,
get
they've
you
structured
invested,
it.
It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
real though.
Really?
Yeah.
it's real issues that they're addressing and stuff.
that are easily
Like,
happening
very-
yeah.
and relevant in people's today relationships. It's-
Like, there's probably a Choma and Paul right now.
Huh?
Yes,
Deborah
I've
and Jamel were arguing about him and being on the
Affirmation.
stage in Clubhouse.
in Clubhouse.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
like
it?
it's so realistic. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
To a point where, like, I'm sorry, if you're at home and that's happening to you, I think you need a Denise. I think you need to seek some help because it's
But
serious.
somebody was saying that she just listens to this. Like,
Yeah,
she
they
doesn't
say
say a
she's there for
single
the
thing.
tea. But I think that's what therapy is actually like, though.
Yeah, no.
They're not there to tell you
necessarily
what
to
you
do.
need to do, but they're there to get you to ask yourself some important questions, which is why people tend to cry a lot after their therapy sessions, because they feel like the Band-Aid has just been ripped off and they're just left open.
Somebody said, I think somebody put this up and it was just like, my therapist, after I tell my therapist, they ask me what's going on, I say nothing. And they say, I think there's more going on than nothing. And then they're like, you know with me. Damn, this bitch did it again.
Nah, because I really want to go to therapy, but nonetheless, that's basically it. Would you, the question is, it's great that you're here actually, would you do couples therapy? Would you go?
I think it's very dependent. I would definitely do it married. Like, whatever the weather. Doesn't really necessarily make a difference if you're on good terms or not. In a relationship, I don't know.
Why?
Not to say that, like, is it that deep, but
You feel like the issues within marriage is harder to address than the ones inside a relationship?
yeah, kind of. Like, you're just at a further stage. I think with relationships, and again, it depends on where you're at in your relationship. And if you're just going to therapy because you actually want to get better, or you're going to therapy because there's an issue. Like, I'm not object to it. I think it probably would be healthy, but I don't know if I'd necessarily think to go down that route, because in my head, it's like, if we need to get to therapy, then tables are shaking. Are we sure that we even need to do this?
Do you think?
That's interesting. Because
I think marriage is different. I think you know, you can be as deep as you are in a relationship, potentially even in marriage. Certain people are deep in their relationships than they are in marriage. But I think, I guess the ties for me just mentally just makes marriage seem a bit more deeper. It's like, God forbid in it, but if you're upset with your girlfriend and you're like, I just can't be bothered anymore, you can physically lock it off today. And you probably can in your marriage, but there's going to be so many steps. If you're living together, if you've got kids together, like, it's not like I can just wake up and be like, well, some people do, and I guess you can, but it's not like I can just be like, forget this, man. I'm divorcing her tomorrow. Like, can't bother, man.
I'm gonna fob off this marriage.
Exactly.
It's only my third one.
Exactly. Whereas I think relationships, and not to even dumb it down, but I think the issues that you're probably getting that will cause you to get to therapy, in my brain, I'm thinking I'll go to therapy if things are on tops, rather than it just being something to facilitate. Whereas in marriage, I'll do it. I'll probably have it even booked in, so we could have it's not like, oh, we're beefing, there's anything wrong. Just like, oh yeah, like, we do this every Thursday, and what are you lot? Do you guys have issues? Do you have problems? No, just we do it every Thursday to get better, to get better, to get better. But I guess the same principle could probably be brought to a relationship. I just see it differently.
Cool.
But
Saying that,
okay, wait. Before, actually, no, I was gonna say, I didn't
okay,
wanna,
ask me a question.
Yeah, I didn't want to dig into everyone's perspective yet. I just wanted to hear everybody's perspective.
Yeah, go on.
it first. What's your perspective on therapy in a couple in contrast to marriage? Or
I think I would do it in both stages of a relationship. I think that, I don't want to say it's 100% necessary. You really think that's necessary? Do you think that's necessary?
I'm gonna miss it
I
every
don't-
little.
Oh, sorry.
That's what he
I'm
says. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I'm just gonna be sitting here.
That's
like,
literally
I'm
what
so
Paul says.
sorry,
Paul goes,
bro.
Yeah.
do you think that's necessary? I think necessary. Sorry,
Doesn't
necessary.
he do that as well?
It's
He's
the
like-
way he says
he's like-
necessary.
I've seen the
Yeah,
clip.
because he's trying to the
It's
niece.
the way he
therapist
says
lady.
necessary that is so aff. Like,
Fuck that,
is he
man.
sure he's Nigerian and he's not Ghanaian? Because
Nigerian.
he's meant to
He
be.
looks like a Ghana boy.
The things that
looks
he
so
says,
Ghanaian,
yeah,
But
he says,
foul.
he's giving me real Guardian energy. Anyway, I don't think therapy is always a necessity, but I do think that, like, in any kind of relationship, whether it's with your family members or you don't necessarily have to go to therapy with your friends like Joan and Tony, they had real problems. But I don't now in my adulthood look at therapy as something that you do when you have issues. which is why I would do it in a relationship as well as in a marriage. But I'm not going to therapy in a relationship that I don't see getting to marriage. Also, I'm not going to be in a relationship that I don't see getting to marriage, because I think that's really, like, for me, that's not what I'm doing. Again, that's the difference between if you're in a relationship as opposed to dating somebody, that kind of thing. It's not all the same. But I feel like if I take the person seriously enough, I would definitely be open to therapy. It doesn't have to be that we're sitting there and unpacking a problem, but it could be that I'm dealing with something that I haven't expressed to you, but therapy's facilitated the space for me to now express that. Could be stuff that's gone on with me growing up, stuff that's been on tops at work. It doesn't necessarily have to relate to that other person, but when you are with somebody, a lot of what you deal with personally somehow affects your relationship. You may not know how, but it could be the reason why you always go straight to bed and you don't ever message them. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like little things like that, or they say something, it triggers you.
I was thinking of the Neo song. And I don't want to go to bed mad at you. I don't want you to go to bed
mad at me. It's that kind of stuff though, do you know what I mean? So I would do it because I think that you could probably gain a lot more than you think you can. Yeah, I would do it in both.
Cool.
You?
I don't think I do in a relationship either, you know.
Why?
Like, not to say that it's I don't think there's a problem with doing that in a relationship. I just don't see any of my problems inside of a relationship prior to marriage being deep enough, or that we can't address it within, like, amongst us. Because at least
what if you can't?
That's what that's what I'm saying. At least from the way I stand, that's why I'm saying I'm not opposed to it. But at least the way I stand is, I'm quite like, at least as I say, I've matured. I communicate things a lot more now, and I'll ask. I'm very inquisitive about, like, more so even than me saying what's wrong with me. I'm more inquisitive about, oh yeah, what's wrong with you, or like, what's going on with you? Why do you feel this certain type of way? If then they were just like, I really can't speak about this to you, I'd be like, okay, cool. Maybe you might need to go to therapy to understand how you can communicate the way you feel to other people, because it shouldn't feel like it's on your chest like that. Even I can feel like I won't communicate something to somebody, and I might go and be like, okay, cool, I might need therapy.
But you don't think it's something you need to do together?
Like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But then if it's inherently just an us issue, like a me and my partner issue, then I'd be like, okay, cool, we need to go therapy, because there's a breakdown in communication between us, not just this person has this trait that's hard to communicate or with everybody. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But marriage, I think I would for sure. Just because even from watching Blee's therapy, I know you haven't seen all of it, but there's some things that, or at least when they were saying some stuff, it was like it was unearthing other issues amongst them. Like with within the last episode, it was or I think it was the episode before. No, I think it was the last episode. Yeah, I
didn't watch the finale, by the way, but I've heard what's happened.
Okay, so cool. Fine. Basically, Shoma and Paul during their relationship had, in fact, no, let me say it like this. So they've been going to therapy. Then at one point, she was saying that he doesn't, like, they don't sleep with each other like that, like whereas they were at the beginning of the relationship, but they're not anymore. And it was like, oh, like, why is this? She was saying,
spark's gone type.
Yeah, she was saying, like,
he came to say,
fam, and he said, oh, like, and she was talking about eating as well. Like, you don't eat the African food I make anymore. But it's like
my brain's in the gutter. Sorry.
I'm dead.
She said, "Oh yeah, you're crazy, man." She was saying, "You don't eat like the food I make anymore, like the pounded yam and da da da."
That's when he came to say, like, "I'll come home with your fried palm oil."
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, "Are you familiar with palm oil?"
Are you familiar with palm oil?
Oh, he said her goosey.
He said she'll be he likes her food, but he said that she'll be listening to whiskey and frying palm oil like they're in the village. He wants to eat steak.
He has like he has this whole like warped mentality of or at least his character has this whole warped mentality of like he doesn't need to eat that food anymore because he's trying to elevate himself. But at the same time, he's a fitness. Listen, he's a fitness trainer, innit?
He's a fitness trainer.
Yeah, so he doesn't want to eat like.
So why does he come with 3 pieces?
What?
Oh, he's also a businessman.
Bro, he's a businessman as well.
Yeah, he works on websites and he works with influencers.
Like
you know them man there, man.
SARS that traded.
Bro, Forex to the death. Yeah, that's what the vibes is. But yeah, so he's saying that he doesn't want to do that. And he doesn't eat that food anymore because he's like, he has to
Meal
maintain
prepping.
his body is meal prepping. He feels like he'd be a double standard if he's like to his clients, eat this, but I'm here at home sweating, wiping the stains off my. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it was just like, oh yeah, and then she was like, we're not just having sex anymore. In another part. So then now it's like, okay. Then she was like, okay, I feel like he didn't say he said, I feel like I think I don't remember how he phrased it, but he's like,
he said she's gained weight.
Yeah, you've gained weight.
So she's heavy.
So now,
no, he said she always wants him to pick her up, and she was like, but that wasn't a problem before. Is it a problem now? And he said yes. At which point it's obviously been unpacked to say that he's saying you're too heavy for me to carry, and that's kind of your preferred way of wanting to do what they do. Cool. And so he's not been on it, basically.
Yeah. And then it comes out in the last episode as well that they had an abortion.
Oh wow.
Oh,
I
didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Well,
I'm gonna watch it anyway.
So they had an abortion, and it was like during the abortion process, it was more so like that evening, like they got burst in it. Two of them got burst, and they said, they don't usually do what they usually do. They went like 7-8 rounds, and bro, as we said, them man aren't usually at all, to be honest. So then I don't want to sound ignorant or anything, but they did it, and then after they did it, they went to the rounds. Like. So they had the abortion, and they went. No. It's like they had 8
That's
rounds
the build up
of smashing.
Like.
Because bro, that's what I'm saying.
I thought you would never celebrate an abortion, but I thought it was that. We bust in it.
No,
this was how they conceived.
They panned like that time.
Makes sense,
in the night they were like bantering about it, basically saying like, if I think he must have said something like, if you get pregnant, I don't even know I'm gonna be around for the youth or or at least that's the way he was saying that he was trying to he was saying it. But she's just like, no, like it sounded like you're being serious. So then when it came that she did get pregnant, she did get the abortion, and they haven't really spoken about it since. So when you formulate all of those things together, it could be like, okay, cool, you're not really on me like that anymore because or maybe it's because of the guilt you feel from when you got me pregnant and
or trying to avoid getting her pregnant again. And
they'd never spoken about it. And even when she was coming to say it, he was just like, babe, like the certain stuff we said we weren't going to talk about. And yeah, so I feel like therapy or couples counseling can help unearth issues, because she said she didn't deep how big it was to her at the time, but it's clearly having effects in different realms of your relationship. So that's why I feel like those type of stuff, it can help unearth. But yeah, again, it depends if you get into that type of serious type of situation with somebody. I
think, as you said, like, again, I'm not object to it. I think the way that I'll probably stand on it is I don't see it as something that I'd probably suggest straight away. But in the same vein, as you said, if you're in a deep relationship, for example, time frame, let's say you're at 4 years in, you're maybe a year or two out from proposing if things are going well. I wouldn't be, if you were like, okay, cool, do you want to go to therapy just to unearth some things? I'll be like, yeah, I'll be open to it. Like, I'm not gonna say no straight away. And I think same way that you said that things are being unearthed, I would probably be a lot more of an advocate. And when you guys were speaking, I was thinking about it. I was like, I'll definitely be an advocate for it when you're engaged, at the very least. And I know that.
Think about it.
I know that there's a lot of people who do it through the church.
Yeah.
Like they do engagement counselling and whatnot. But I think probably even just before that process, to actually kind of confirm if this is, or reaffirm, this is what you actually want to do. Because, as you said, if you're getting to the point where you're with your partner and these type of issues are coming up, but you haven't necessarily spoken about it and whatnot, and then it gets to the point where somebody finds out that I've lost the attraction. You were about to propose to me next year, but you've suddenly lost your attraction. Why are you going to propose to somebody who you're not attracted to just because we've been with each other for 4 years? And I think there's probably the aspect, and maybe I can speak on it from a guy's perspective, but there's probably women out there who probably think the same, is that I honestly think some people are probably scared as to what they'll find out in therapy. And it's almost the ignorance is bliss, because I guess it can probably go either one or two ways. It can make you stronger, or it can make you realize that you're not compatible. And I think if things are going well,
you don't want
the risk.
Yeah, you
don't want to run the risk.
You don't want to run the risk factor. But then if things aren't going well, it's like, well, this will either just confirm what I know, or we'll bust case. So I think that's why people think we go therapy when it's not working to solve it, rather than if it's working. Like if it's not broken, don't fix it.
That's exactly what I was gonna say in terms of like it can go two ways, because I'm saying I think therapy is good for people in like general, like, but especially like within like couples and stuff, or at least in like marriages. I feel like is a real double-edged sword of, cool, you guys will go into this process and probably become better people. But is that better people together or separate?
Yeah.
And I think either way is cool.
It's good.
Like, because as long as the individuals are part of it, because as much as a relationship is your union, but that union is made of two people.
Yeah.
And no two people in this world are the same. And it's like some things you may like, or some things I feel like that's one thing I hate when people make the like arguments about like you know who you've met, or you know who you've spoken to, you've dated, and you don't, because people are constantly changing. Like people are always changing and evolving. Do you get what I mean? Like,
you gotta get the software update.
Fam, carrier, upgrading the carrier. Fam,
you want me to buy the
fam, and that's like what it is. So now imagine like, even from when let's say you're younger to now, even let's say your parents, yeah, just looking at them as people. Forget about their relationship. Looking at them as people, you can be, that there's inherent traits that are like, oh yeah, that's just my dad, or oh yeah, that's just my mum. But you can start seeing changes in your parents as they get older. Our mum went through a stage, even now she still does it, but she went from a stage of, we never had like fruit smoothies and stuff when we were younger. Then never. Like if I was having a smoothie or something,
literally
I'm getting that from outside. Like,
then she went and bought the F off juicer.
Fam,
the
she
big
bought
one.
juicer, blenders,
and now she's bought the like bullet one.
Yeah, but that's what she does now. Like, that's who she is. You couldn't tell me.
She is.
Fam, no, literally, she's now been doing it for over a year solid. She's a juicer.
She's a juicer.
Yeah,
there's always juice.
There's always a juice,
like 100%
that she's made.
It's crazy.
Organic.
That she's making it with fruit.
Yeah, she's juicing.
Like, she's buying
fruit and vegetable, like
raspberries, like.
She's making sorrel beetroot beets.
Oh yeah, no, you said.
That is
sorrel.
Yeah, so it's like
she's a juicer now. That's who
she is now.
But if you met her today, that would be her character.
Exactly. You can't tell my dad, I don't know. You don't know your wife because you should have known she would, in 10 years, 20, 30 years, she was gonna start liking juice. You know what I mean? So I feel like people are always growing and stuff. So inside therapy might be a chance to communicate an aspect of you that's grown or changed. Because if you don't like this anymore, that let's say something that your partner maybe done at the beginning, even let's just like rub your back or something. Now you're kind of like, I don't really like that now. Now when I'm driving my job, like I was speaking to the Bolt driver on the way here, and he was just like, because he was talking about, this is kind of off topic, but he's talking about in contrast of like hard and easy jobs, because he was talking about uni, and I was just like, oh yeah, but writing jobs are like hard to like in terms of P's, and he was like, but what's the easy job? Because he was like, one woman was like to him the other day, your job like it's a nice easy job or something like that.
Driving for 15, 16 hours
and
a day.
And then he was like, fam, he's like, this spot here on my back, it feels like it's on fire. Like it hurts. Like after I drop you off, I'm gonna stretch like 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna keep driving for another couple of hours. Do you get what I mean? It's like everything's gonna be hard to somebody. So where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so now even if his wife, let's say the spot she used to touch there when they were younger and stuff, it's like, if you touch me here, I'm ready to scrap you. And she might be like, oh, you don't like touching me, you don't like intimacy or cuddling anymore. He just might be like, my body aches. But you're going to see that as different stuff. Unless he communicates, this is why, this is this way. It's not going to happen. Do you get what I mean?
There's always updates in any type of relationship, whether it be, friendships, romantic relationships, or even with your parents. And I think, yeah, therapy can definitely help, but I would still say, it starts at home. The biggest denominator is always going to be the communication aspect. And the one thing that I would probably say that therapy does, it makes that communication aspect just easier to say. Because, again, if you were to say that exact same...
There's a person there as well.
If you're going to say that exact same situation, it's like, you could tell everybody in your life by your wife that you don't like her rubbing your back. You can tell your boys, oh, what's going on, bro? fam, my back is in pain again. What happened? My wife just keeps rubbing it. Like, she used to do it bare in the relationship at the beginning and I loved it, but now I don't know how to tell her. You could be telling your kids, Daddy, what's wrong? Oh, Mommy's just coming again and rubbing my back. And your wife can come to you and say, babe, what's wrong? Like, you look like you're in pain. And it's like, oh, nothing. Because you want to,
maintain.
That, Whereas, again, if you're in front of somebody and it's like, Denzel, I know that you've been saying that you've had back issues for a while. Do you want to tell your wife what the issue is? He's like, babe. And I think the umbrella that probably therapy seems to give is, I wouldn't say it's a judge-free zone.
Yeah, but this is a professional.
Yeah, but it almost gives it as though it's a judge-free zone. It's like, if I say anything here, you have to take it in. We're not in the bedroom where you can just wild out and be like, so why the hell you just tell me then? Like, there's another person who we don't know who are actually paying to get there to, I guess, facilitate this conversation for. It's a sit down, we're looking at each other eye to eye and we're doing this. I remember I was listening to a podcast. Sorry, swollen boba. I was listening to a podcast with, I can't remember what this guy's name is, one like Korean actor. He's bare funny. I can't remember what his name is. But he was basically telling a story about how he was having child parent therapy. So he was having therapy with his dad. And it's so funny because I don't know what, the way they broke it down, it's like, there's a bunch of, either dads and their sons or dads and their daughters and vice versa in a circle. And the way that you have to explain your stories, you have to do knee to knee with your parent. So you have to sit that close with them where my dad is sitting here and we're touching each other's knee to knee. Nothing else on our bodies are touching. They literally call it like knee to knee therapy. And you're just speaking to your parent about what's going on. And I guess it's that intense, I'm close.
Thinking that's intense.
And
Very intense.
Because where can you go? If I'm sitting in front of you, our knees are touching, that's probably the closest that we can get to physically hugging and whatnot. And I guess because you're in a space where, other people are talking about their issues, you get a lot more comfortable to say, okay, cool. I probably wouldn't have said this before. These don't know me as well, but we're all going through, it seems like we're all going through a certain level of issues. So let me actually come and tell you what's going on. And yes, it's very easy to say communication is the biggest factor in any relationship. But would you have said this? When are you ever sitting knee to knee with your dad in your house? You're never doing that.
Bro, that's so profound. That it's so sick because I'm thinking even just from fathers and sons, I'd say those are the people that need therapy the most.
Probably.
Just in terms of just so we can speak about the man I am now, and you can tell me the man you've been to get to who you are. Because I feel like that's what bare people, I can say we're very blessed in the to the extent that we both have our dads in our lives and present. Loads of people don't. And I've been watching Last Chance. Have you watched it before?
I've watched I watched season 1. I probably like season 1.
Fam, watch all of it, innit? Because when you get even from season 1, the ending of season 2, and when they show you people's lives and stuff, the bonuses after,
are deep, man.
Bro, it's so intense. I got Shantae to watch it. Fam, she's been going through it. She was just like, no way. I'm dying to Google what's happened to these people. All of that type of stuff.
I think one of them even died, in season 1.
Bro,
from season 1.
Swear.
Yeah, I saw it in passing. Can't remember which one.
One of them got him bin as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so peak, man. It's so peak. And the thing is with his thing, he didn't actually do it. It's fucked. But yeah, basically, so many of them, their issues are that they've come from single parent households, and even if they're happy with their parents, one of their parents did a bid for a couple of years. Sometimes it's their mum, sometimes it's their dad, and a lot of the resentment or the struggles that they have, even in just being themselves or being the characters they are, is abandonment and people lack of faith in them. If a lot of them could sit down with their parents, and it's even if it's just your dad telling you it's not your fault that I left, it's on me, it's because of me, not because of you. I feel like that changes so much psychologically for somebody.
Just a quick question though. You see on that, and I don't want to necessarily segue your point too much, but and this is probably to both of you. First one is, do you think there's maybe if you were to say the smallest number, 3 people in your life that you think or that you would want to go to therapy with? And secondly, within those people, do you think if you could be as open as possible in every conversation, do you think it would be more beneficial to you or them? Like, you don't even necessarily need to say. If I was to maybe use an example, I could probably say the closest people in my lives that I would probably say I would go therapy with would probably be my dad, my brother, and Lex. Like, I would probably say those are maybe the 3 people that I could say, for me to get something worthwhile out of this, I'll go to therapy with those 3 people. Yeah. And in each situation, I don't even know necessarily now who would get the most out of it. I probably think maybe in my dad's situation, he would get the most. I think my brothers, I would probably get the most. I think with us, I'm not too sure who would probably, wouldn't say benefit, but get the most out of both of us being as open as possible. But yeah, just, I didn't want to jump into your point and break it up completely.
Nah, bro. That's made me think. I think you'd be one of the people I go therapy with. I just think...
I wouldn't have thought that personally.
Really?
Never. Like,
because we talk a lot.
I think, for me, it's like... I'm not to say that, you know, those are the 2 people that I have issues with or whatever, but they're probably people that I would want to dive into conversation more with about things that are deeper than surface level. And from the outside, to me, it just seems like you lot dive into things deeper than surface level.
I feel like we do, but it's different. Like, I don't know. Like, it's so weird that I say
to the point that therapy, rather than just having a conversation in the house.
I feel like me and her, but the thing is, I feel like me and her having them type of conversations, it'll be like, I don't know, but you get what I'm saying, innit?
I do get what
it's like, mean. Yeah, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, the 3 people that I have with, it'd be you, Leona, and my dad.
She's on my list.
It wouldn't be my.
I wouldn't do it with you, but I can see why. No,
I don't, like, my mum's like, it's really, the thing is, yeah, if my mum has an issue with me, I feel like my mum is more likely to chat to me about my issue, or my mum makes it evident a lot of the times what her issues are with me anyway.
Yeah.
So,
there's not much to unpack.
I kind of know where I stand with my mum, and
I feel like mums, it's almost like you see what you get.
You get what I mean? And it's like,
when you come from, it's different. Yeah,
I would just want to know. I would sit down to my mum
and want to know about her life.
Yeah, just want to know about her life.
I want to go on like a retreat with her.
Yeah, that's more so what I do.
Not therapy.
I wouldn't go to therapy.
Therapy.
I just want to go some. You know, like they do those things where you go, you put phones away, you like spend time, you do exercises. I'd want to do that with my mum because she had a whole life. You know, she went ice skating.
What?
Anyway, we'll talk about it.
Fam, this woman told me when she was
like 2 weeks ago
that she'd wake up in the morning before school, and then I found this out 2 months ago. she'd wake up, she'd wake up before school, sell rice for like 2 hours on the road, and then she'd go to school afterwards. Or she'd run to one of her friends' houses so their dad could drop her to school, and then afterwards she'd give the keys to her grandma. I'm just thinking, fam, like, why are you only telling me this now when I'm 22? Like,
she went on an ice skating date, bro, in this UK in her 20s. She was like, "Oh, that was the first time I went ice skating." I said, "You went what?"
Like, what are you talking about?
I was like, "You went what?" She was like,
"Spun me."
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I'd say like, back to what you're saying about me and Lex. I feel like what we will unpack is be like deeper stuff that we haven't spoken to each other about. Well, I feel like there's a lot of me and her are very like different characters. Like we're fundamentally like different, different, like the way we view things, the way we react to things. I'd say she's a lot more like confrontational in things than I am, and I'm very much like passive. So when I do become confrontational, it's just like,
man, what the hell are you doing?
Even we were talking about some podcast stuff. Like, we had a meeting about a podcast.
Denz will be like, "I want to have a meeting with you."
Man,
what the hell?
That's the way I would approach it. She'd be like, "Fam, why didn't you just tell me this way you've been feeling already?" And I'm just like,
"Nah, just talk to me."
I'm just like, fam, because the way I see something in my head, I'd be like, if I've done this and I've done this, those are my 2 chances I've given to speak about this. I don't want to talk about this again. Or I'll be like, at this point, I think you're ignoring what.
Yeah,
that's the way I
just talk about it now. And it's just why you wasting my time.
Yeah, I mean, so I feel like that would be like more therapy-based communication and
Yeah.
I'd say with Leona, I feel like it'd be more beneficial for her in just the essence of like, I really want to see the way she views.
I don't know why. I proper feel like, sorry to jump in, not necessarily specifically with Leona, yeah. But I don't know. I always feel like, just because me being the eldest in my house as well, I always feel like the oldest, like the younger siblings will understand their big sibling a lot more when they speak to them and if they open up. Like, I proper think that my young bulls, even though I said my brother, I would probably gain more, but again, maybe I'm thinking of it from the eldest to the youngest. I feel like my sister would gain a lot more from me speaking to her, just again being her big brother. But that aspect of, you may see me doing these things and not have a clue as to why I move like that. And I'm putting you on as to having years on you why I'm like this. Yeah. And again, I can't think for Leona, innit? But I'm just thinking of, you may see her doing certain things or act certain ways and have no clue about what's going on. And again, I'm not to say that because she's older, because the gap between all of you guys isn't so big. Yeah. But I guess we've all never been, you know, her age in our lives. So we literally we don't even know what the pressures of a 27-year-old, what they're going through at all.
I changed my delivery of that. I meant it'd definitely be more beneficial from me to know more about her. But I feel like it'd be beneficial for her to tell me or to share it in that way. Because Leona's life, in contrast to ours, is bare different as well. Yeah. You had to take bare hits, bare licks. Them lot saying my life is mad easy.
This guy's life, let me tell you about my life. This guy?
Because it's like, I've done stuff.
And you're a guy.
Exactly.
Bro, I'll do stuff and they'll be like, raw.
We never get away with that. It's different consequences.
Yeah, they'd be like, I didn't even think to do that. Like when we were chatting about hotels and stuff, like I go away monthly to go to a hotel, just be myself and chill and stuff. These men weren't doing that before. And it's like, you wouldn't have even thought to do that. You're just like, But yeah, so, but I say with my dad, I feel like it'd be good just to like, me and my dad already have like real nigga conversations sometimes anyway. And because I spent so much, I'd say in contrast to these, I spend more time with my dad. One, because we're both guys. And two, when I used to do football and stuff, it's like we travel together, car rides, even him picking me up from uni and stuff. That's like at least every week, let's say, especially from where we were going to kickball, that's 2 hours in a car together. You're bound to talk about something. Even some issues would have to be from them car conversations.
No, that's true.
But I say as you get older, you start to communicate with your dad more. Your dad starts to loosen up a bit with you. But yeah, no, I feel like it would be really beneficial for him, like what you said with your dad, because I feel like when I was saying this to my dad, I gave the example of the people inside of Congress or in Senate. They were all like, I think they were like, the youngest was 67 years of age. And it was like, even them, everybody above them, or I think maybe just not them, had all been in school, in segregated schools. So those are the people that were
making decisions about the country.
Those are the people making decisions about the country when you grew up in segregated environments. And that's what you learnt. Like, that's why I'm always furious at racists, but at the same time with bare stuff, I get it. Like, that's what you were raised on. Now you're kind of stuck in your ways to an extent, innit? Like, I feel like bare people, especially African parents, are so stuck in their ways with bare stuff because for however years you've been, that's all you learn.
For 57 years of your life.
Bare people come here when they're like 30 in terms of like our parents.
Yeah, but then it's still 30, a community.
You're a grown man now. And now when you come into
different challenges here as well.
You're only learning how to navigate here, but your fundamental ideals haven't changed because you've seen this as a different country. I think bare people look at different environments and it's just like, oh, rah, that's a different environment. They do different things. But you haven't had to fundamentally change the way you approach something, at least inside a Western
People
culture.
think assimilating means that you become the environment. All you do is mask yourself enough so that you're in the UK. Do you get what I'm saying? You only mask yourself enough so that you are accepted, not so that you are them. And also thinking about it, when people don't accept you in a place that you've come to, you learn to be as acceptable as possible, so you're not bothering them, so they won't attack you, but you also are conscious of being like them. You don't want to be like the people who are oppressing you.
Fam, your home is the most similar thing to your actual home, and you're going to keep it as similar to your actual home as you possibly can. So yeah, I feel like with that being said, I feel like he would benefit from it, from like like this is who my child is type of thing. Like, and your parents can say that they know you as much as they like, or everybody's parents think they know them. You know the bad these gun youths that when
such a nice boy.
When they passed away and stuff. Like Wretch said on his latest album, he's just like, fam, like why is she lying, fam? Like why is she lying? She's saying he was a great kid. This youth was badding me up every day after school. Like, he was a menace on the roads.
Boy.
Like,
but what people tell their parents would spin
different.
you, because I remember a guy that I know that I grew up with. He was a little bit annoying in school, but like for the most part, he was harmless. And at school, he was, I would say, bullied now. As an adult, I could say, yeah, like he was being bullied. He was being picked on. Everyone thought it was like kind of chilled, because he wasn't the only person who received that treatment, but he was different. And I remember post primary school, his mum said to me, oh, you know, he comes home and cries every day. Well, he used to come home and cry every day. She said it to me, I think actually in like year 6. So we were still in primary school, but we weren't as young as we were before. And I was like, what? But at school, like, you'd think he was untouched. Like, he was just not pressed. And she said, yeah, he comes home and cries every day. And I was like, okay. At which point, I never bullied him. Sorry. Like, and he said to his mum, I don't know about y'all, but he said to his mum, I don't bully him. He said, him and me are cool. So she obviously felt comfortable to say that to me. And I was like, rah. And obviously I was like 10. But I went to school and I just thought,
you see stuff differently.
You man leave him, you know, because I didn't know, but like later on down in life, he did have mental health issues, and nobody connected the fact that that's why he came off different at school, and that's why. And for me, it connected the dots as to why he seemed to be fine at school. He seemed to be able to take it all, but was crying at home, and then had, do you know what I mean? Had ideas about who he thought hated him or didn't, and you know, that kind of stuff. I say this to say, who you are at home, who your parents see, who your friends see, who your colleagues see, all different people. And I think that when you take that into account, and then you take a person like your parent, like your dad, and you sit down with them, for me to be able to express who I am to my dad and have him express who he is truly to me, encompassing all of the experiences that he's had from, do you know what I mean? From childhood through to, and we know a lot about dad. Like, I'm not going to sit here, he's told us bare about his life.
Like, why?
Do you get what I'm saying? How do you feel about that? Like, that's like some things he'll say, like, that's mad. How does that make you feel? And it'll be like, you know, like, but I feel like in a situation of therapy, if we were sitting knee to knee, could you tell me, or would you go into detail and say why, how that's made you do this and this, or how that's made you say this and that, and why you now avoid dogs in the house? I can rationalize that if a chunk of your leg has been bitten out by your uncle's dog, I know why you don't want pets.
Which is facts.
Which is a fact. That's a fact. That's real true story.
But we know that.
But I know that. I can understand that. That's deduction. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But there are other things that I won't get and I'll never get until you really explain them. And same way, there are things that you're going to say that I won't agree with, and you'll never get them because I was simply not raised in the same environment as you, kind of thing. So I feel like I'd really benefit from that, and I think he would as well. And Leona, it's interesting for me because obviously we're sisters, but I feel like
you lot one would be. I would want to watch that.
You get blue therapy. Y'all gotta get this one. This is the one y'all gotta get. This gonna break the net.
If you're watching,
this one gonna break the net.
That would actually that would spin jaws. Like,
I'm just so keen to understand her.
I really wanna. I'm keen for you lot to understand each other.
Yeah.
Just because like how like,
we are different.
We're all like close, but we're all like
so different.
Like, so different. And I'd say like even the way I'm close with these lot, like I'm close to them in like different
ways.
Faculties. Like me and Crystal like very much relate on like so many like different stuff, like interests. Like I say me and Leona are more similar people.
Yeah.
It's just like
I'm not like them in that way, and I feel it as well.
Yeah,
but in the same way,
feel it. I feel like you've noticed a lot more like now. Like,
I've always known that, but I never expressed it before. But when we were growing up, Leona would express that we're similar and she's not like us.
Yeah, Leona used to do that bears.
But
and sorry to be speaking about you again.
Yeah, but
hello kids.
Yeah, she'd be like, oh, like you guys are always like you lot are the same, you lot are similar, blah blah. But that's because we had outwardly similar interests. So it was like, oh, they like all that poetry and they're going to shows and da. That she didn't necessarily not like.
I like that stuff.
We only used to do poetry.
She didn't necessarily not like it,
anyway.
but she just wasn't necessarily involved in it in the same outward obvious way that
she
we
didn't
were.
Make it like an interest to go
a hobby. I'm gonna go and watch poetry shows.
Yeah,
we have a lot of shared hobbies,
yeah.
and I think for that reason we came across as to her we came across as they're always doing their thing. But for me, in the house, I always felt like them two are similar. Like I'll feel away and nobody gets why I feel like
because
that.
We don't feel
because
that
they
type of way.
don't feel like that.
That's not the way we process what's happened.
They simply won't react that way, and I can feel it, but I never necessarily said anything because then middle child syndrome. But at the same time, I wasn't. Do you know what I mean? But I couldn't.
Got at it again.
Okay, we get it.
You're a middle child, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get why you guys didn't understand. And in the same way, she probably couldn't get why we were always going to these shows and listening to this type of music and da-da-da. So for that reason, I feel like me and Leona would have a really, really good, deep conversation about who we are. And I think that would be super necessary. Like, I'm keen to have that with her.
Who's your third?
You.
Oh. You even say.
Sorry.
I thought you deducted that one.
I thought you deducted that one.
Nah, I didn't. I was moving.
Do you know what I think we'd speak about in therapy?
What?
Your deduction skills.
What is it? How great they are?
Sure.
To be honest, from what she's told me, your deduction skills are like quite well. At least your planning skills, like you be planning stuff.
In what sense?
Like plans.
Putting things together.
Putting things together. You be planning stuff.
Okay.
Why are you looking worried, man?
No. Do you know what it is? I didn't hear the word planned. So I was okay.
Nah, your planning skill is very good. I'd say with what you said, there's this they used to do a show with the Braxton family, innit? And I think it was Tamar that they had this issue with, like Tony Braxton and her.
Isn't that when there's a snippet of her crying?
Yeah, and she was was basically saying, fam, like
families thing. I think that's the most intense.
Bro, that's what I was gonna get onto. They were saying like, she was saying like, I'll say something, or I'll say something and I'll react a type of way, and then you would have been like, why are you being so loud? Like, why are you being so loud? And it's just like, fam, that's who I am. And every time you lot tell me, you're so loud, you're so extra, it's just like, fam, like,
you're attacking my character.
You're attacking my character. You're not like attacking like a trait of it. Like that's inherently who I am. I am like, I'm over like
boisterous.
I'm very like expressive. Like that's who I am as a person. So when you do that, you're not just like shutting a part of me. Like,
you're shutting the whole of me down.
You're shutting the whole of me down and making me feel like the way I am is a problem. In contrast to being like, oh, that's just how she is. Do you know what I mean? But I'd say with what was to bring it, just to finish it off, I'd say people or the therapy I think would be best beneficial is child therapy. Like child counselling, like within like terms of like school and stuff. Like, if somebody has sat down with the brother and been like spoken to them, they can see a lot of these patterns that your parents can't. Because you're not trained to look at these things. A lot of teachers aren't even trained to look at these things. Do you know how many people grew up with ADHD and stuff like that?
They're finding out at 24.
I know people that are dyslexic that only found that out in uni.
Legit.
Because
you took the test to get the MacBook,
and nobody would have.
Now I still haven't taken the test, but it would change my life to find out I had dyslexia or something like.
Literally,
it would change my life.
There's even like there's a spectrum of dyslexia. It's not just like you're dyslexic.
Yeah.
There's so many different aspects of it. Like some people even like they find it they have to write on yellow paper because it focuses their dyslexia. You wouldn't know that. You've been doing tests on white paper your whole life. You've been doing like
struggling, by the way.
Struggling, and you might think, I'm just this way because, or I'm just finding this harder than everybody else because I'm not as smart. I don't get it. And it's just like, no, for what you're dealing with, you're doing a madness even just to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
And even now, if you even just relate that from an academic standpoint, if you change that now to your emotion,
it's the way your sickness making me laugh.
to your emotion, like the way that you feel about stuff, I think that's life changing.
I hear that.
But yeah,
great episode.
Great chat.
Great chat.
Cheers
TopPicks.
for having me.
TopPicks. My first topic is, sorry, let me find it. I screenshot it. Do you have top picks?
Yeah.
Okay, say yours.
All right, 1 second. I need to go to my library. I'm gonna say my first one.
You need to come closer.
You know the way my voice projects when you hear it on the audio, but yeah. My first one is "Love Is Dro" by Jack Harlow, Static Major, and Bryson Tiller.
So you have that already?
Haven't heard it.
Oh.
The original song is actually by Static Major, and then they basically just sampled his chorus, but it's proper. The second one,
I love Static Major, man. All right,
so good.
Serious. The second one is "Forget Them" by M.anifest.
I haven't heard it. You know?
Heard that one in Ghana. The boys put us on. That one was serious. And the third one, I'm staying with the Afro beats, is Kilofeshe.
Oh, that was going to be one of mine.
Sorry about that. Can I use the other one?
Anyway.
By Zinoleesky. The last two, in fact, no, all three I discovered on my trip to the homeland.
Sick.
And you know when you think of songs and you're like,
that's what
I can just see Bloom. Yeah.
I'm screwed.
But yeah, that was free.
My first top pick is Busta 929 with SDUDLA No Slenda.
That's a name and a half.
Banging tune. Shout out the plus women, yeah. SDUDLA, period. It's giving Amapiano vibes. It is Amapiano, so yeah. My second tune is Olamide with Rock. I've been banging that song if you're on my Instagram lives, so you will know that is my tune. And the third one I'm going to use, because I've actually banged this out a bit. Let me stop acting like I don't love this, because when Omah comes in on the remix, right, it is Forever, which, how do I spell this? Gyakie? I'm going to say it's Gyakie. Gyakie and Omah with Forever remix. Banging. Massa. Yeah, they tell.
My life is all I have. My rhymes, my pen, my pet. My first top pick is the Honourable Jermaine. Jermaine Cole, My Life, featuring 21 Savage and Morray.
That's a good tune.
Fam, that tune, I love it. I absolutely love it. My second top pick, it's Wretch 3-2 featuring Blades Brown, Pressure. That tune, fam.
Heard it, banging.
Fam, that Wretch, I love the what the project's about. He's released a short film for it. I'll probably watch it later today.
All right,
Wretch, goated, man, goated. And my last one, this was a tough one to pick from because I've been listening to a lot of tunes, but I found this song. I didn't really listen to this brother. Like, I don't really listen to him like that. We were saying this with Tyro's episode, but ASAP Rocky featuring Frank Ocean, Purity.
Oh, yeah.
I've not heard that.
I promise you lot, late night when you're out, cab home, driving. I gotta find.
He can't say cab and then
what
not
is
look
it
at
giving?
me.
What's the one that? The one that you said if you're driving home and you're listening to this, you might just.
Oh, when I was listening to Sir.
Yeah.
John Redcorn. Nah, that is a I'm going to crash this
Sad
car on
Boys
purpose.
Club. Oh, so it's not giving that type of vibe.
Bro, nah, this one's more peaceful, like,
okay.
tranquil. Yeah, it's not. I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna spin this coupe.
Just go off this bridge.
Fam.
Oh, you
must off this bridge, fam.
Spin this coupe.
But guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for coming once again.
Appreciate it.
Back
always.
again.
It's our only guest to come back.
Twice.
So far,
Yeah. Twice. Couldn't do it just the one time. Had to do it 2 times.
Period.
But, love, bless, peace and prosperity. It's been your boy Denz.
It's been your girl Lex. Hello.
And that's TwinPodcast.
And you've been listening to
TwinPodcast.
Cheers.